Well, good morning or good afternoon, Maria.
Yes, good afternoon, Maria. Hello,
Good
Jay.
morning,
Hi.
everyone. How are you
Doing great,
guys?
thanks.
It's a beautiful day in California
Oh
today.
yeah, first day of summer, so I'm a little festive for the first day of summer, and
There
yeah,
you go. That's
sunny and
great.
75 here in Greater Los Angeles. Although sunny and 25 for our enlightened metric users.
It's 2022 3 here in the
Oh,
UK.
that's not bad. So you're one nice day a year there in England.
We're having a lovely weather in here, so close to yours, guys. Not that
Yeah.
beautiful anyway, but doing our best. So energy efficiency, it's a lovely
hmm
day for photovoltaics and renewable energy.
hmm Yeah,
Wind is
well, and anyone on the east coast of the U.S. is not sunny in 75. It's blazing hot and 90 something throughout from the Midwest to the East Coast. I saw, and so this is a very timely topic because they're going to be blasting their air conditioning quite a bit just to stay functional.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic today, and we should discuss it because, guys, you know that pledges have been done worldwide with regards to improving our carbon footprint and improving our environmental conditions. But we read a few days ago, we read some reports saying that despite all the good intentions, less than 25% of the entities actually meet the basic net zero criteria. So
Hmm.
use and energy efficiency are tightly linked to reducing emissions. So it doesn't sound too good, does it?
No,
No.
that's saying what you do and not doing what you say.
Absolutely, which is against the very simple but functioning ISO principle. Do what you say what you do, carry on and improve your
and,
operations.
and then
That's
prove it with an audit.
That's right.
That's right. Auditing is a huge advantage because we audit internally, and then once per year we have an independent body coming in auditing us externally, which means that we prepare for that audit, we work better, we target improvement, we achieve it. So why actually, with so many efforts currently being done, organizations don't achieve better results? Well, if you don't mind me getting started with this one,
Please.
thank you. I'll just get back to renewable. Renewable are key, they're essential, they're very, very important, photovoltaics, windmills, etc. However, I think that organizations get slightly obsessed with only implementing renewables. What happens? Organizations think that because they have those more efficient, cheaper sources of energy, they will automatically perform better in terms of uh, energy efficiency, which is not always the case.
Hmm.
We are effectively reducing emissions rather than reducing energy use. Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
And so those are often tied together in people's minds, but they're not. They shouldn't be or shouldn't always be. Is what you're saying?
absolutely. May I give you an example?
Please.
Yes.
For instance, a university campus installed renewables, photovoltaics all over, so they got cheap energy, which allowed them to heat up in winter the rooms and cool them down in summer. As a result, it was too hot in winter, too cold in summer. Students maintained their windows opened. As a result,
So the human nature aspect kicks in, where people, if you tell people that it's cheaper, then they're like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about this then.
absolutely, and this is worrying and concerning because if we get cheaper energy, and cheap now is a key word for energy worldwide, you're right, Jay. We stop paying attention to the energy efficiency that's so important.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, that's economics, really.
By the way, we can't expect to improve the environment with only reducing the energy use. Basically, what happens if a facility opens a new production line? They will most certainly not reduce, but quite the opposite, their energy use. The question is for this new production line, for the organization itself, to improve the ratio or what we call their energy efficiency. So get better results, even if they actually use more energy. Someone recently said something quite interesting. Oh yeah, production lines can just get shut. It may or may not be energy efficient because there are production lines that, if get shut, the cost
Shut down.
shut down. Sorry, the cost to restoring the activity is much higher and less energy efficient.
Right.
Just like sometimes people say, don't turn off your car, Roku, because the to save gas, because the cost of, or it takes more gas to restart your engine than to just leave it running for a short period of time.
Absolutely, and there are quite a lot of industries that cannot be shut down for these reasons. They're going to use quite a lot of energy to restore their operations.
That's a very good point. A lot of people don't really think in those lines and in that order of, because in fact, I just actually witnessed this yesterday. I was driving by, I was running an errand after work yesterday, and I saw that just a Jack in the Box was closed down. And I happened to have my mother in the car, and she said, you know, it looks like that's closed, but they were just open yesterday. So I said, you know, well, maybe they didn't have staff to, you know, be able to be in business that day, or they weren't selling enough of product to keep it open. So, you know, you never know what's going on in a situation like that when you don't. And I see that from time to time. You probably see that, Jay, as well, where there are stores and facilities that are not open, and you wonder, do they think that they're saving energy by not staying open and that kind of thing? So that's a good question.
I have a different example of that. Past life, past career, when I was consulting in the oil and gas industry, I was commuting to Malaysia for work, and we would have meetings with our client in the Petronas Towers. Those are those two giant towers you've seen in pictures of Kuala Lumpur. And you can imagine Kuala Lumpur, much like Singapore, is just insanely hot and humid all year round. And it would take a lot of energy to cool those. Well, whoever was managing the towers would turn off the air conditioning at night, because there's a bunch of malls on the ground floor, and then there's office buildings going all the way up. And I remember our client, who was kind of, you know, pretty far up in one of the towers, always complained, and they would shake their heads and say, it takes so much more energy to recool these towers every day than if they just left it on. But we'd have morning meetings, and, you know, just walk across the street and drenched in sweat, and then you get inside and go, it's still hot and muggy in here, you know. But by the afternoon, it's really nice to be in here. But maybe that was by design, because Petronas is the national oil company for Malaysia, so they thought maybe that's a way for them to burn more oil. I don't know. But you know, you can see where a company would think, oh, no one's in here, I don't need to have the air conditioning running.
Do you know
why? And then turn it back on in the morning, and they wouldn't think like, oh, we've got these giant towers, how much more energy are we consuming to recool it every morning to get it to where it needs to be every day?
Do you know why it happens? Mostly it happens more often because organizations if they perform anything, they do the so-called energy reviews. So energy reviews are quite extensive. However, they're snapshots. They take an instant image or for a period of time, snapshot of period of time, I mean, and this is it. They don't have a system that allows them to compare those snapshots to each other over a period of time and to manage it. So we are often asked, what's the difference between energy review and an energy management system? And it's very important to understand that management reviews are snapshots. They're static images. Imagine someone
That
goes
makes sense.
to point, does the management review, everything looks great. 2 hours later, someone switches on their conditioning, completely different image. So a management system would allow us actually to compare those reviews, to establish baselines, to compare the data and improve our operations. And by the way, there is a very nice standard out there that helps organization manage it. This is ISO 50001 energy efficiency, a very nice one.
Good. I was going to ask you if that ISO 50001 would facilitate that. The review system, or what do you say, the management system versus just a snapshot review.
Absolutely. The greatest thing about this standard is that as an ISO standard, it is applicable to any organization regardless of its type, regardless of the size, complexity, or geographical location, or even energy use.
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be an auto factory or the Petronas Towers. It can be anyone.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was on 2 Teams meetings yesterday with one of our 50,001 assessors, and 2 completely different prospects. And it's very interesting because one of them, this is pretty much being demanded, 50,001, by one of their clients. And then also one of my other clients, that soon-to-be clients coming on board, is looking at doing this 50,001 with 9,001 and 14,001 all together.
Nice.
And
wow.
Yeah, and it's because they have like 20 different facilities around the world, and they want to know specifically what their carbon footprint is. They want to have the most safe environment for environmental safety, not only for their employees around the world, but also they want to be able to be one of those companies that's known for being environmentally energy conscious and of the highest level of quality. So I was so impressed when I was hearing this on, why they're driven to have the 50,001 certification.
That's
Well,
great.
this is a result of the US Department of Energy and their efforts. So, guys, the US Department of Energy actually encourages organizations to implement, if not ISO 50001, which is the best thing to do, at least a program which covers the basics of 50001. So I'd like to invite you, you and our attendees, actually to have a look at the department website, where, by the way, Pamela, you mentioned an integrated system, 9,001, 14,001, and 50,001. I missed a webinar organized by the Department of Energy on cybersecurity and energy efficiency. It happened this month, a few days ago. I missed the time. I'm so sorry. I regret it deeply, but it raises quite a lot of questions. At first glance, one would say, 27,001, information and cybersecurity, and 50,001, what the link in here would be. And then the logical explanation, information technology is one of the most polluting industries.
Wow.
So because we
I can see that, yeah. All the server farms, yeah.
Farms, servers, whatever.
Crypto mining facilities. they're energy hogs, yeah.
And the other big polluter, the other day, I read a very nice article in The Economist. The 1/3 of the waste generated is attributed to real estate.
Really? How so?
Well, this is because heating, cooling, and powering existing offices, homes, and factories is calculated to account for 27% of global energy-related carbon dioxide emissions. And as you know, constructing new ones involves mountains of steel and mountains of cement. All this combined with demolition accounts for another 10% of the global CO2 emitted each year. So building debris generates apparently 1/3 of the annual waste by weight.
Wow.
That's very interesting. Until you're told this, or you read it, or you hear it, you'd never think that.
Yeah, panel, I'd like to circle back real quick and add on to something you said about you had that customer you said that was getting the integrated management system, and you said they wanted to be known as ecologically and environmentally sound and forward thinking. And I think that's a great point. I think there's a lot of companies out there that like that. They like to say, this is in our corporate DNA. This is who we are. This is what, and the point I want to make, and this is from some of my sales and marketing consulting days, is, anyone can say that. Anyone can say, oh, we're energy efficient. We have a target of net zero. We're environmentally conscious. And what I've told my clients in the past is, if anyone can say it, then it's meaningless, right? It's just like, oh, we have the best customer service, or we have the best quality. If anyone can say it, it's meaningless unless, and this goes back to before, you can prove it. And that's what an ISO system does. And that's what your client is doing, is they're putting their money and their time and their effort where their mouth is, and they're opening themselves up to that annual audit, and they're proving it. Because if anyone can say it, it's meaningless, and everyone knows it. Believe me, all purchasing managers and customers know that it's just a platitude, unless you say, this is part of our corporate DNA, versus this is part of our corporate DNA as evidenced by our certification to ISO 50001, ISO 14001, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Maria. It lends itself to the philosophy, which all of this is behind with ISO certifications, is plan, do, check, and act. Correct, Maria?
The Deming model.
Yes. Model, which we always represent with the concept of leadership in the middle, because leadership is essential for a system to work. Jay, you mentioned procurement. By the way, the ISO standard 50001 has specific clauses for procurement
interesting.
And product and services design. So it's very, very well designed and gives a very nice tool to an organization that would like to perform better, see their cost being reduced. And
that's what I was going to say. So you're saying that there's an ROI to this. not just in energy savings, but also in cost savings on product design and all of that. Okay, excellent.
Absolutely. And as I say, it is applicable to every kind of organization, office-based or industrial facility. For instance, it's curious. People ask, how much can I reduce as cost-wise? It's difficult to say because the standard is so applicable to every single organization that if you apply it in an office, you can get quite a lot of reduction of energy, let's say 20, why not 25%? It may not mean that much in absolute value, but percentage-wise, it's quite a lot. In an industrial facility, you may be able to reduce 0.01%, but this 0.01% may be translated into millions that you don't spend in energy.
Yes.
Don't think only percentage-wise. Think strategically.
Yes. And that's a very good point that you're making. When you're thinking strategically, some of these companies that might be hearing this or don't know this fact is if they're not getting energy credits now by having 50001 ISO certification in place, this could actually allow them to start getting energy credits or to increase their energy credits. So not only will they save money monthly for their monthly outgoing expenses for electricity or just the way that they've been doing business, it's going to be streamlined and make it lean. But not, they get the savings of these tax credits, the energy credits. So that's huge.
It's fantastic.
Basically, I'm going to ask our marketing team who are behind the scenes to pop up on the screen an address. This is a link to the US Office for Energy Efficiency. Caroline, can you please just pop it on the screen for our attendees? Here it is. So, guys, if you'd like to see the benefits from going for energy efficiency, you can go on the official US Office for Information Energy website and check those in there, clearly explained, starting with the cost savings, community benefits, environmental benefits, resilience and reliability, health benefits as well. So this is a great read for everyone that is thinking strategically and willing to reduce costs and get further benefits, to read from the source, from the US Official Office for Energy Efficiency.
All right.
That's great.
Well, thank you. Well, I think that's good. That's a good amount of time. We've covered some great topics, and that's a great way to end things, I think, unless anyone else has anything else they want to present.
Just because I mentioned, Jay, the Department of Energy talk on cybersecurity and energy efficiency, to let attendees know that next week, same time, same place, we'll be talking corporate espionage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Great topic. And the role of ISO 27001 to protect us against this not suitable activity some people would like to perform to our organizations.
Absolutely.
Well,
okay.
I would just like to invite whoever has any questions that might be seeing this or hearing this video to contact imsm.com with any questions. We would love to have maybe one of our assessors, be on a Teams meeting or a call with one of our area managers, such as Jay or myself, and answer some questions and maybe go through the process of what does the implementation look like. And just in case if somebody doesn't know and they haven't been through the ISO process before, it's a 2-step process. First step is you work with one of our assessors, starting with a gap analysis. You ultimately end up with all of the clauses of the ISO code 50001 implemented into your process. And then you end up with that procedure manual. Then the second step is you have a certification audit. You'll be audited on that procedure manual and your process that day. And hence you'll end up with your certificate. And now is a very, very busy time because a lot of people are contacting IMSM right now and wanting to have the certification in place by the end of this calendar year.
Yeah,
so
this is that time.
But
halfway through the year, people are like, oh, I got to get this done.
Yeah, and it's a tax write-off. So in essence, the expenses for this certification and all of our certifications, Jay and Maria, that's what's so exciting. As I always say, in essence, it costs you nothing as a company owner because you get to write off 100% of the expenses. Just off of that, let's say it's, a $30,000 expense, just arbitrarily throwing that out there. And you get to write off $30,000 off of your income for this calendar year because it was a business expense. And then you might be able to be eligible for our R&D tax credits as well to take care of this expense. So we'd love to hear from anybody who has any questions. Again, imsm.com. And we welcome you to contact us.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, guys. So we have Caroline to take over now. Caroline.
Yeah, all set. Everybody have a great